Where I want to go from here is what I reminded people of this past August. This August, there was a shooting in Antioch, Tennessee on August 5th. And as soon as I saw that, I said, oh, Antioch, interesting. I wonder if there's something more here. Because I know from reading the Bible that the only place in the entire Bible that the word Christian is mentioned is in regards to Antioch. And it is the passage Acts 11:26, a lot like the date November 26th, that mentions it. Check this out. From the King James Version of the Bible, should be noted that King James is who was ruling in England and who had banished sects of Christianity, which is part of the reason the pilgrims traveled to North America. Anyhow, Acts 11:26. And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church, and taught much people. And the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch. That is the only place in the entire Bible that the word Christian is used. So there was this shooting at a theater in Antioch, Tennessee on August 5th. There was a lot coded into the story. If you can recall, the shooting supposedly happened at 1:13 in the afternoon. All the media said that it happened at 1:13, this shooting in Antioch. As I routinely point out on this video channel, the number 113 is routinely coded into mainstream hoaxes that serve the purpose of agenda. The word mainstream has a gematria of 113. The word dishonest has a gematria of 113. The word green screen has a gematria of 113. Anyhow, let's see, where do I got this up here? Truth Seeker. Right here. From August 5th, the date of this shooting at 1:13 p.m. until November 26th is a span of 113 days. That number 113 again. It's also a span of 3 months and 21 days, kind of like a countdown. 3, 2, 1. I found this suspicious in regards to the timing, the syncing up between August 5th and November 26th, and the fact that the Bible verse, Acts 11:26, also corresponds to Antioch, where this theater shooting was. Truth Seeker. Sometimes these things can be a coincidence, but from doing this research, we have looked at a number of stories and how the details within those stories were clues for the event that was to come. In this regard, I wondered on August 5th if it might be foreshadowing something negative for this coming Thanksgiving. And hopefully that isn't the case. But should anything happen today, just know it was foreshadowed. And it wasn't just foreshadowed in that story. There are other stories that have happened since that have also been curious. For example, there was the bombing in Ankara, Turkey on October 10th, 2015. Did a video on that. It was a bombing by the numbers. Notice that Ankara, Turkey has a gematria of 47. Another special number to the Freemasons and Zionists, the reflection of 74, the number we talked about a moment ago. From the date of that bombing to today, November 26th, is a span of 47 days. Bombing in a 47 location, exactly 47 days before Thanksgiving. And think about how it's in Turkey. And in the United States, Turkey is highly associated with Thanksgiving. Do you know whose favorite holiday is Thanksgiving? According to President Obama, it's his favorite holiday. He said this numerous times in numerous interviews. And Obama is the 44th president. I've done a lot of work covering the significance of 44 and what it has to do with major political assassinations. Please notice that Acts is the 44th book of the Bible. Obama's the 44th president who ran on hope, a word with 44 gematria. When you write out the word 44 and sum it in gematria, it sums to 144. We'll talk more about that. Just 2 days ago, November 24th, Obama made an announcement for thousands of federal regulation changes, but 144 of them will cost taxpayers more than $100 million apiece. $100 million per. So 144 times 100 million plus. Major announcement just days before Thanksgiving. The article talked about how Obama likes to make big changes around holidays when people aren't paying attention. I remember this from New Year's Eve 2012, December 31st, 2011. Obama signed the National Defense Authorization Act that made the United States an active battleground in the war on terrorism, according to federal law, which it still is. A curious piece of legislation, legal change that most people still to this day aren't aware of. Anyhow, 144 big regulations really stands out to me, Truth Seeker. This is a special number. If you write out 44, it sums to 144. If you write out April 4th, it sums to 144. The reason that's significant is because all of these numbers, dates, and other words you see on the screen connect to assassination. The last president to die in office was JFK, the 44th term president. He died on the first day of Sagittarius. Notice how 44 and Sagittarius both sum to 144. The first president to ever die in office, William Henry Harrison, who was the 9th president, the first Whig. He was the first to die in office. He died on April 4th, just like Martin Luther King Jr. The name Abraham has a gematria of 44. Abraham Lincoln would die shortly after giving the Gettysburg Address. He would dream on April 4th that he would be shot, only to be shot 10 days later. 10 days later has a gematria of 144 as well, Truth Seeker. It's not up here. Also, with regards to the Kennedys, Robert F. Kennedy would die at 1:44 in the morning on June 6th. When the name Robert Kennedy equals 66, so does the name Sirhan Sirhan, and he would die on June 6th at 1:44 in the morning. This number connected to his older brother's death as well. Should also be noted that the phrase Mark of the Beast has a gematria of 144. The phrase Mark of the Beast is in reference to the number 666. If you sum the first 144 decimal points of pi, it sums to 666. In Revelation, the numbers 144 and 666 are used. Also, Truth Seeker, we were just talking about this Antioch, Tennessee theater shooting on August 5th. If you missed my older work, after the second theater shooting, remember first there was the one in Aurora, Colorado, then the week that James Egan Holmes went on trial, there was a shooting in Lafayette, Louisiana. That was in July. Then there was one on August 5th. After the one in Lafayette, Louisiana, I pointed out how the numbers 58 and 85 were heavily coded into the Aurora and the Lafayette shootings. And then lo and behold, we get another shooting on August 5th, which can be written 5/8 or 8/5, and had additional 58-85 coding within. All of these shootings have come in the time that Obama has been the president. When Obama first became president, he reopened Ford's Theater, which is where Lincoln was assassinated. Ford's Theater has a gematria of 58, the same number coded into all of the theater shootings during the time he's been president. Should also be noted that Lincoln had an assassination attempt on his life at Willard Hotel years before being killed at Ford's Theater. Willard Hotel also has this gematria of 58. What I'm trying to say is all of these stories have been part of a narrative, giving us clues for the big event to come. And all these clues will lead up to the death of Barack Obama. Ford's Theater was first reopened in 1968, the year MLK was shot on April 4th. It wasn't reopened again until 2009, when Obama just became president and did an opening ceremony with an actor playing the part of Lincoln. Ford's Theater was reopened in 68, closed 9 years later in 77, and then reopened again 32 years later in 2009 by Obama. The people who are having these ceremonies, giving us these clues, it's as if they want people to see what's coming, but ever so subtly. Something else interesting, Truth Seeker. Joe Biden, should he become president, The name President Biden has a gematria of 144. Perhaps the perfect name for a president to have, taking over for the one who got assassinated before him. Biden is the 47th vice president right now. The word president equals 47. So does the word Caesar. Joe Biden's wife, I have pointed out how so often throughout history, the first ladies, the women married to these men in high places, have names that are connected to the ongoing riddles. Her name, Jill Tracy Biden, has a gematria of 144, matching President Biden, matching this number that's tied to political assassination. Is it all a coincidence, truth seeker? Something that stands out to me about today's Thanksgiving games. For years, there was always just two games on Thanksgiving. The Lions and Cowboys would always play a certain opponent. This year, in recent years, they have added a third game. And this year's third game will be in Green Bay. The Bears are traveling to face the Packers. The Bears are traveling to face the Packers. The reason this is curious to me is because Obama has the Illinois connections, just like Lincoln. Lincoln, the first ever president to be assassinated in office. Only two states have a gematria of 44, truth seeker, Georgia and Wisconsin. Earlier this year, on the week 2, the week that had a date numerology of 44, there were only two scores in the entire league that had connections to 44, and they were games won by the teams from Georgia and Wisconsin, the Falcons and the Packers. The world of sports is synced up with the world of pop culture. The whole show is being run by the same gang of Freemasons and Zionists. The world is a stage for these people. Anyhow, the fact that the Bears are traveling to this state with the 44 gematria, to me it's all symbolism, foreshadowing for what's to come. Chicago at Green Bay, the phrase, even has gematria of 144. And just before Obama became president, truth seeker, I want to look this up and show this to you. Just before Obama became president, this story was put out. Look at this, truth seeker. On the 44-year anniversary of the JFK assassination, ABC News comes out with this story. 44 years after JFK's death, new assassination plot revealed. Remember, JFK was the 44th term president. Obama is the 44th president. The word kill equals 44. This story is about how he was nearly assassinated on November 2nd at Soldier Field. This is in the year 63. Just 20 days before he would actually be assassinated. At least so we're told. But it's that number, truth seeker, 44. The number of assassination. Notice this is also connected to a Bears game. This article came out when Obama was flirting with running for the president. All foreshadowing, truth seeker. All signs of what is to come. The other thing I want to point out is today is the 89th Macy's Day Parade. 89, a very special number. King James equals 89. Religion equals 89. George Washington had the first Thanksgiving celebrated in 1789. George Washington, a Masonic man. CNN's front page story right now, Turkey refuses to apologize for down jet. Do you think that's a coincidence on Thanksgiving? Another hoax headline up at the top, powder at mosque was flour 33 minutes ago. Yeah, I'm sure. You learn these numbers, truth seeker, you can learn what's really been going on in this world all this time. So, that said, I hope the rest of Thanksgiving passes without incident, but should anything happen, just know it was foretold in these headlines. Until next time.